All right, all right. What's good, everybody? What's good? Um, man, I just can't. Man, when one thing I got to say before I get down into it, man, when some of these old people said that the Lord works in mysterious ways, boy, they sure didn't lie. Especially what's going on in the niggas for today. Oh my goodness. Um, too many, too many gems going on to prove the point of the title of my topic today. But get into it. Too many times, I've heard this statement from old dudes saying, "You just get to my age." Like the fools have really achieved something just by getting old. I don't respect people just because they have some gray hairs on their heads. It's what you do that defines your actual worth. I'd rather die young with some sense than to die an old fool. So, this content today is to let young fellas of every generation know that true knowledge and wisdom can come at any age. That old saying, with age comes wisdom, is a statement of possibility, not a fact, because there's countless young fools I've seen turn into old fools. And also, you have younger ones who weren't fools, allowing old fools to turn them into old fools by focusing on the wrong things. So today we'll be looking at several scriptures to show just what the Bible says about fools. My bad, y'all. I did not get to write any of these down but I've got some pulled up here because it just, I mean, with the bull crap that is going on today, it is just, oh man, it's too funny. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. You're right. So let's get to the first one. This one will be coming from Proverbs, chapter 18, verses 2 through 3. Fools have no interest in understanding. They only want to air their own opinions. Doing wrong leads to disgrace, and scandalous behavior brings contempt. I mean, we see that going on over on Snow Nards right now. It is. I mean, it's too funny how everything goes in line with this proverb here. You see too many people that don't have an interest in understanding. They just want to talk. They just want others to hear them talk, and they want to hear themselves talk. No actual thought goes into what they're actually saying. And the scandalous behavior going on over there. Let's look at this what Sigma has here. There's a saying, if you're born poor, that's not your fault. But if you reach old age and still die poor, that's 100% your fault. Good saying. Good saying. Proverbs chapter 1, verses 5 through 7. Let the wise listen to these proverbs and become even wiser. Let those with understanding receive guidance by exploring the meaning of these proverbs and parables, the words of the wise and their riddles. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Now, here with this proverb, that fear of the Lord is talking about, it's also talking about actual fear, but it's also talking about understanding his laws and codes. Because if having that fear of him, you understand his laws, you understand his codes, because you fear punishment from disobeying them. So that's why it's saying here, let the wise listen to these proverbs and become even wiser, and let those with understanding receive guidance by exploring the meaning in these proverbs and parables. Saying, do your research, look at it, understand, break it down to understand what's going on here, what's being said, and all the possibilities. But hey, as the first one I read said, fools have no interest in understanding. They only want to air their own opinions, meaning hear themselves talk. We see that all the time. It's all right. It's all right, big bro. You're here. You're here. Shalom. Proverbs 12 and 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearken unto counsel is wise. And I'm going to say here, it's not saying what kind of counsel, but I'm going to tell you, you want to hearken unto wise counsel. You do have unwise counsel. So you want to know the difference of the counsel that you're receiving. Um, mm, Here's another one. This from Psalms. Psalms chapter 107, verse 17. Some became fools through their rebellious ways and suffered affliction because of their iniquities. Whew, man, we see that all the time, yeah, especially, you'll hear people talk about it, what afflictions they suffer because of their bad choices. Um, and all iniquity means is a immoral or grossly unfair behavior. That's all it means. They we see people complaining about the suffering from their actions, but hey, uh, you know they made the action. Uh, so the best thing you can do from because of that affliction that you suffered or you've seen others suffer is to learn from it, to not repeat those mistakes. That's one thing that you hear old fools. Um, it's like they talk you. They want to talk you into doing the same idiotic mistakes that they made. You, because of your age, you can't be wise from learning from their mistakes. You got to go and do the same dumb stuff to know any better. But true wisdom is also learning from others' mistakes and not repeating them yourself. Mm. Proverbs 14, verse 7. Stay away from a fool, for you will not find knowledge on their lips. That's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, I don't really have to go into that. That says enough on its own. Mm. We'll go here, Proverbs 10, verses 18 and 19. He that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth slander is a fool. In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. And here is talking about, just talking about the first part. He that hideth hatred with lying lips. People lying to hide their hatred of others. And going on the topic, you'll have older guys, hide their hatred by lying to younger ones, about the truth and the way they're living their lives, by wanting them to make the stupid mistakes that they made, instead of encouraging them and congratulating them for not making those same sinful and stupid mistakes that they made. So moving forward, this is a good one here. Proverbs 18, chapter 18, verse 13. Spouting off before listening to the facts is both shameful and foolish. And here people like to say that religious people like to say there's no science or anything like that here in the Bible, but facts are a part of science. And speaking before listening to them, it says here, shameful and foolish. Um, it's saying here you should know all the facts, or at least try to know all the facts before you speak. You should do your research. Research is scientific. But what do I know? Shalom, Curl. Shalom. Here's another good one. Proverbs 29, verse 20. There is more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. So right here is telling you that someone who speaks without thinking about what they're saying is worse than a fool. That's pretty telling right there. Next, we have Isaiah chapter 32, verse 6. For the fool speaks folly, and his heart is busy with iniquity to practice ungodliness, to utter error concerning the Lord, to leave the craving of the hungry unsatisfied, to deprive the thirsty of drink. And what it's talking about here is when you have these people of authority or the older generation, or anyone that the young could look up to. The utter error concerning the Lord is leaving the craving of the hungry satisfied and depriving the thirsty drink. It's talking about knowledge and information here. You know, not telling them, not telling them good and factual information that can satisfy their hunger and thirst. That is the folly that the fool speaks. Um, that is what it's talking about here. We got a couple more, and then we'll get right into the barbershop talk. Mm. This is another good one too. Proverbs 26, verses 4 through 5. 4 and 5, rather. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, or he will be wise in his own eyes. It's just going back to what I was saying, hey, it's just not wise to deal with foolish people. I mean, if it's necessary to call a fool out on his folly for others to learn and not be succumb to that same foolishness, that's different. But just to be talking with them, to argue with them, is pointless. It's nothing to be gained from that. Another good one here. Proverbs, verse 26, not verse, but chapter 26, verses 6 through 7. Trusting a fool to convey a message is like cutting off one's feet or drinking poison. A proverb in the mouth of a fool is as useless as a paralyzed leg. Man, yeah. I mean, that just the beginning part, trusting a fool. It's worse than foolish, in nature. And then I think I'll end it right here with this next one. Luke chapter 6, verse 39. Then Jesus gave the following instruction. Can one blind person lead another? Won't they both fall into a ditch? You see here that you have so many old fools that are blind, and they lead and they want to lead others. But following the lead of a blind person only leads you into a ditch as well, off a cliff. Well, at least you know where good. So there's nothing to gain from listening to fools. There's nothing to gain to listening from the blind. On matters of substance, there's nothing to gain from it. There's only suffering and pain that you could have easily avoided by finding out the facts yourself, by doing that research to see if what they're saying actually has any truth to it. Because with these fools, they have a track record of foolish acts throughout their whole life. So whenever you see that, there's no point in even listening or taking any value in what they say or do, because they've led a whole life of foolishness and stupidity. And if you're wise, you wouldn't want to fall into that yourself. But we're right here almost at 20 minutes. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut this down, and we'll go over to the barbershop. We'll go in the barbershop talk to let the usual suspects up and have a conversation over this. Like I said, boy, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and these fools showed their asses today. But that's all I got. Don't be a hospital gown nigga, and peace out.